this short video we'll show you how to insert safety eyes into a soft toy. It could be a knitted toy, a crocheted toy or a stitched fabric toy, such as something like this. Safety eyes come in lots of different colours and lots of different sizes. These are some of the ones that we stock, and these are tiny little 6mm eyes right up to 20mm eyes. The size of the eye refers to the diameter across the front of the eye here. So that's a 20mm eye, which the diameter across here will be 20mm. Safety eyes have a back on them, a washer. Sometimes they're metal, could be similar to this, and sometimes they're plastic, little ones like this. The plastic ones obviously are washable, and the metal ones might not be so good if it's something you want to put through the wash. There isn't a right or a wrong size eye for a toy, so this one here could have had a much smaller eye or a much bigger eye. You can play around with the eye size. The only thing I would say is if you're making a toy for a very young child, and particularly if you're using a knitted or a crocheted pattern, the eye may be better off stitched if it's for a young child, just to absolutely ensure that it can't be pulled through your stitches. Safety eyes have to be put in before you stuffed your toy, so you need to know where they're going to go on the face before you start. This is the beginning of a teddy bear head that I'm making here, and on the pattern of this bear they show you where to put in the safety eyes, so I've marked them on here with an air erasable marker pen. You can also use positional pin eyes. These are really handy eyes that have pins on the back. They come in lots of different sizes, and you simply say, let's try them up here. You can put them in, play around with them, see if you're happy with them, see if you want to use a smaller eye, a bigger eye, play around before you actually commit to putting the eye in. Once you've put the back on a safety eye, it won't come off. So you have to be absolutely sure you know where it's going to be before you commit to snapping the back on. Of course, if you're using crochet or knitting, the eye can be repositioned around through your little holes in your stitches, making it a lot easier to get your eye position correct. Once you've decided on your eye position, you're ready to insert the eye. Depending on the material you're using, you may need to make a small incision in the material before you can put the eye through. Of course, again, if you're knitting or crocheting, you'll have a naturally formed hole in your stitches. But with something like mohair or faux fur or felt, you'll need to make a hole. You can use a tailor's awl, that's quite handy to push in. If you wiggle it through, it can make an incision. Or, and I think I'll probably need to do it on this one because the shank of the eye is wider than the hole that the tailor's awl will make, you make a tiny little hole with the tip of your scissors. So just a tiny little snip, and then you've got your hole. So the shank of the eye goes through the hole you've just made, so you push it through, and then you need to get to the inside of the fabric. You can see it there. And there you can see the shank of the eye coming through the back of the teddy bear's head. Next, you put the washer onto the eye. The washer will have a domed side and a flat side. The flat side needs to go against the material. So you always have the flat side of the washer against the material. So you stick it onto the shank and you push. Now, depending on your hand strength and also the size of the washer and the eye, this sometimes can be a bit difficult. There's little tricks you can do to help push that eye on. One is have it on a flat surface. You better have something soft underneath it so you don't scratch the front of the eye against the surface, or you don't scratch your table as well. And you can try pushing down like this. And if that's still difficult, you can use a safety eye insertion tool. Once you've inserted your eye through your fabric, and you've popped your washer on the back, the flat side against the material. Put it onto a hard surface and use a safety eye insertion tool. The hole goes over the shank of the eye, giving you a much bigger space to push down and exert your force to get that back on, and it should pop through much more easily than if just using your hands. Because we're using material with a tight weave on the back, the eye is going to stay firmly in place. The back of the eye won't come off anyway, but occasionally if you're using a very loose weave or something like a knitted toy or a crocheted toy, you might be concerned about whether the whole eye and the back can be pulled through one of your stitches. If you are concerned about that, something you can do is when you insert your eye, and I'll show you on this one in a moment, you can add a piece of felt to the back of the eye. So here's the second eye going in. I've just made a little hole a moment ago. Push it through to the back. And as I said, with this sort of material, this isn't really relevant, but if you're using a very loose weave, or you're knitting or you're crocheting, what you can do is put a disc of felt on the back before you add your washer on, and it just gives you a little bit more confidence that that eye is not going to be pulled through one of your stitches. Once you've got both of your eyes inserted, you're then ready to stuff the head or do whatever happens next in your particular pattern on the project you're making. We hope you found this little video useful, and we'd love to see what you've made, which you can share with us on our social media channels. Thank you.